Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
Hey, I'm Jeanette.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Tiffany.
And tonight we've got a lot of things to talk about. We've got Lone Star, This Is Us, The Resident. But first is Lone Star, and this was season 3, episode 7. I think it was called Red versus Blue. So this was kind of a fun episode. I didn't know where they were going to go with this, but it was pretty good. We start off with like what's a regular type accident for the 126 to be responding to, and it leads to like so much trouble for them.
This is funny. This was a really funny episode.
It was.
Most of it was really funny. Yeah, it was very entertaining. I liked Owen in the beginning scene after they see the car accident and the lovely cop comes up to him, and you can tell right away as soon as Carlos says something, he's like, "Oh, great, this guy." And then he gives them a ticket for the fire truck.
I know. How mean is that?
Are they even allowed to do that?
Oh, yeah. Know. I think this is actually a true story, because I kind of remember something like this happening in real life, and the firefighter did tear the ticket up or something that. It's loosely based on a true event, but every 911 episode is.
Oh, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, every 911 call on the show is. Do you guys not read my fast facts?
Look, I try, okay, but there's a lot of groups, okay, and so sometimes I miss some. Okay, that is very interesting knowledge.
Yes,
I love it.
Just so you know.
When the guy said, "I'm going to need you to move your truck," I said, like, in my head, I was like, well,
yeah, so everybody can see this.
The accident when we finish our job, and I think that's what Owen said back to him. Like, we'll move it when we're done.
Like, what do you want them to do?
Obviously,
it's there for a reason.
Yeah,
they don't just put it there for fun. Oh, let's block 3 miles of traffic. Sure, that sounds like a fun day.
And I'm sure. I mean, that's awful, but I mean, at the same time, what are you gonna do? Like, It is what it is. So that was a mess.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching Owen rip up that ticket, though.
I did too.
I did too.
Nice.
I loved how didn't Tommy say like Owen, because she like knew he was getting ready to do something. He like just took it. Okay,
Owen.
And then when the cop said something else to him or something that caused him to just be like, "Nope, we're tearing it up now." Like, I can't remember what he said though, but he wasn't having it.
That was hilarious. I love that part, but totally.
Yeah, since he didn't do that, then they towed the fire truck from the other guys.
That part cracked. I mean, I was like, are you serious? Like, they're right. What if they got a call and they wouldn't have their truck to go? Like, somebody's house could burn down. Like, this is like crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what Carlos said, they think that they're all lazy, which I did laugh when they were like, we don't even have a pole. We're thinking about getting a slide. It was so funny that I loved it. But even Carlos was kind of looking at him like, guys, like, you're kind of proving our point here. Like, I don't know. It was funny.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was, you could tell Carlos was very uncomfortable having to go in there.
Because those are like his people, but like, he's still a police officer. So he was definitely put in the middle there.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for TK and Carlos there because, he
is
a cop.
TK at all, though. He was just smiling about it. Like, it wasn't phasing him one bit.
It was funny.
I think like Paul said, he's like, this happens in Chicago. And he's like, oh, and TK's like, this happens in New York.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they're used to it. They've been around. They know that the police and the fire fight each other. which
I
amazes
never really
me.
thought about. I guess I know we've seen it on Grey's or whatever. Like I've heard about the rivalry, at least around here, but it's more of just like a joking rivalry. Like it's not like they really don't like each other. It's just more of, like, oh, the red versus blue. I mean, it is a thing, like, but
yeah. I don't think it's anything that serious. I think this episode was just a play on it.
Yeah.
Like they exaggerated it, which was funny. I liked it.
Why Owen thought them playing a softball game for retaliation would be a good idea.
I almost died laughing.
When he said,
maybe you should see if someone knows how to
what?
play.
Right.
Right.
He said this is war, and then they're gonna do a softball game. And I'm like, okay, like, but that is
all
such
the
an
things.
Owen. It was really such an Owen thing to do. I think. I mean, it really just fit, and it made me laugh so hard.
And then nobody could play.
Right?
No.
You'd think maybe you would find that out first.
Oh my gosh.
It might be a good idea.
I guess he just assumed, I mean, like some of them, I guess. I mean, poor Judd, he was funny. He had his glove out, like greasing it, like getting warmed up. Oh my gosh. They were taking it seriously for sure.
Oh, they were. I mean, the police were undefeated, right? That's what he said.
Mm-hmm. No, so you're going to try to play this undefeated team that like you don't even like.
Yeah.
They called they had their ringer. Did anyone else? I really thought when we were talking about a ringer, I thought maybe like Billy or something was going to come play. And I was like, I just wanted to see him again. That's who I thought they were going to be talking about.
That's who I was waiting to see when they turned the camera. I'm like, oh, it's going to be Billy.
I thought anybody except Pierce.
Right? I didn't even remember him. Like I had to go back and look. I'm like, who's this guy? Like I don't. But then after he started talking, I was like, okay, now I remember you. Like,
oh yeah,
not easy to forget. Yeah. It was. I mean, but the whole softball game was amazing.
So funny. I love seeing Tommy. Like this was a new side, like a playful side of Tommy that I had not seen before, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I did too. I'm not the biggest fan of Tommy.
I'm not either, but I was this episode.
I was too.
Like a turnaround for me. So I was like, okay.
I was too. I think also because their creepy twins weren't in there.
But haven't they changed the actresses? I'm pretty sure. They weren't as creepy the last time. So
they're just
I shouldn't say that. That's mean.
Honestly, I've already explained this to you guys. It's because of a scary movie I watched and the girls look like
you told us about that.
It's a whole thing for Amanda. It's actually a scary movie.
Well, I feel like her twins, they make them real like shining, like where they like, I don't know, they just seem like they're the same, and like it's I agree.
Yeah, they're always just like standing in a corner of the room, not moving.
Like, come play with me, kind of thing. Like, yeah, I don't. I'm not into it either. So
that's exactly. They're just they don't sit right with me. I'm sure the actresses are lovely.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they are.
I mean, I guess they do their job well. If their job is to freak me out. So the softball game.
Yeah.
Before we get too far off.
Poor Nancy.
I was gonna say I can't remember her name right now. Nancy.
Stacy.
Oh my god.
I feel like that would be me. Like if you tried to like put me in a softball game, like oh my god, no one ever put me on your softball team. Like you are gonna lose. Like I'm not gonna be able to do it.
I think I can throw a softball, but no.
Nope, can't.
The big whiff.
The big
whiff. You're gonna whiff hard.
Poor Nancy. I just felt so bad for her because like that it brought back like all my anxiety from like high school when we have to play a sport in gym class, and like I knew I was going to be awful, then it was my turn to try to bat, and it was like this whole big thing. It brought back major anxiety for me watching her.
Oh, I hated gym class, man.
Me too. Awful.
I was sick a lot.
Yeah. I took like the one required year I had to, and then it was off to do something different. Like, because I was, like,
I worked.
I think we even did like I did line dancing one year to get out of like doing like a regular PE. I was just as bad at that.
You think line dancing?
Yeah, I did. And there was one that was like some sort of aerobics thing. I was like, I'll do that. Like, but I was not gonna have to play like wiffle ball or anything ever again. Like, I wasn't gonna do it.
No, the only way I could get out of it was getting into the work program.
Yes,
so I just kept a job.
Right. So
my parents owned a business. I worked for their business. I was good.
Put me to work. I don't want to play softball. Thank you.
No.
I just went to a private school. We didn't even have gym class.
Lucky you.
Again, there was only 6 people in my graduating class.
Oh geez, I forgot you told us that before. That's like really small.
Tiny. I thought I was small.
Yeah,
I had like 93.
that's what I had, something like that. Yeah.
That's small. 6 is why? Why is there a school?
Right. It's like, okay, this is a
It's
little
just
off
my
topic.
class.
The other day when I was
How big are the other classes?
right, they
I
have
think
like 4 or
total there
5.
was 99 students between
My gosh.
kindergarten through 12th grade.
Okay, what is the reason for that school then?
This is like asking my daughter asked the other day, like Elena for real asked me, we were talking about something. She said, did you have to go to school in a barn? And I said, no, like, I mean, I had like we had a real school building, but now I'm picturing like poor Tiffany, like in some little tiny 1-room building with all of her classmates. So maybe
You guys all do in one room.
We had separate rooms.
Did the seniors
most
like
of them
teach the
kind of
kindergartners?
classes, but still, they were
I was gonna say, because you
separated.
couldn't have a full-size room. That would be a complete waste for 6 people. Like,
You guys all on the same schedule?
I actually
you
no, surprisingly,
What?
we were not. I actually had one class where I was the only person in the entire class.
What?
And
It
it was
just seems
French
like such a
class.
waste of resources.
I hope you got an A, because that's like private tutoring right there.
It was
Oh,
French
She
class.
failed.
I couldn't even converse with anybody else. I'm like, how am I supposed to learn this crap? I don't have anybody to talk to but the teacher.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
You know, that one I could do.
we learned that one a long time ago.
That's
right?
all I got. That's
Right.
it.
That's pretty much all I retained from French class. I took 3 years of it.
It's in another language, Maureen.
I took 3 years too.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's the only one I know. Okay,
All right.
so softball
Softball.
game. The big whiff goes out there, whiffs it up at first,
Yeah,
and then Pierce shows up,
the ringer. Yeah.
the ringer. And where has he been?
Can I say he did look good in his outfit though?
He
Even though I
did.
don't like him, I thought that to myself. I was like, he looks good though.
He did look good.
I
I
don't
just
like him, but he did look good.
it's sitting in the back of a cop car.
That's so awful that they did that. Like, I mean, these people like were taking this seriously.
They really were. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But they did good. Like, so they thought they were good. They thought they had it because didn't like TK did really good too, or like was it TK?
Yeah, they kind of started picking up. I
Yeah.
think TK did okay, and then Pierce.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
they
then
got
we
it. They got it. Well,
And then
we
what-
thought they had it.
Nancy even she even pulled it through there at the end until they tripped her. I'm like, this is like just like a league softball game, like
Yeah.
and you tripped her, like it's craziness. I felt felt so bad for her. Here she finally got it, and she didn't get to make her run. It was sad.
All right, so the softball game ties up, and the cops and O'Brien change their tune when they need to be rescued by the 126. When my favorite part of the episode
Yes.
comes up.
There's a fire at a dispensary, and so funny. Like they're all suiting up to go in, and then look over at the cops, and the cops are completely stoned from all the fumes.
Where's the purpose of the car?
Yeah, I mean, like they're just, I mean, cracked me up. And then poor O'Brien is still inside the building. Like, oh my God. And what was he in there doing? Just looking at the flames, like talking about how pretty it was. Oh
High
my
as a
gosh.
kite.
A mess. But of course, Owen saves him. Like, so he had to change his tune, you know?
He did.
But
Thankfully.
that was good. You know, like maybe y'all realize they're not lazy. They're like super brave to like run into this burning building and rescue your butt.
Yeah. I did like how O'Brien kind of went in there at the very end and was, you know, like you're kind of a sorry.
Yeah, it was a sorry. And
Was it a sorry? Was it an apology?
Yeah.
Ish. Apology-ish.
It worked. They had dinner.
It was good enough. It was nice. I was surprised he actually did it.
Yeah, I was too. I wasn't expecting that.
No.
It was good.
That was definitely my favorite scene, though. I loved that whole
so funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like when Owen went to talk to the cops. It's like, where is he? Well, he followed us in the building.
I know.
Did he follow you out?
Like, did the cops not think about this? Like, when you realize like that you've got a dispensary on like fire? Like, I mean, the firefighters obviously, like, I mean, Owen told them like mask up because we're not trying to have anybody like get high out here. Like,
Yeah, like those guys.
right? Oh my goodness. But I don't know. So I don't know. The 126, they weren't the only ones having struggles this week. Poor Grace with her new co-worker.
Yeah, I felt bad for Grace this episode.
I did too. But I
kind of like Dave.
I liked Dave. Dave was just a little odd, you know, but I liked Dave.
He was off. But I mean, that one conversation he had with the guy, you know, where he lied to him and told him that his dad killed himself, you know, that was quick thinking on his feet, and he really got into it enough to cause himself a heart attack.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I mean, it wasn't, I mean, at first I was like, oh, well, that's terrible. You lied about that. But at the same time, like, it saved this guy's life. So,
yep. And then when he jumped on that other call, Grace's call, you know, that could have ended badly had he not been there to help. I mean, I know Grace said that she would have got it eventually, but it might not have been in time.
It might not have been. I mean, that was a serious thing. So, I mean, you had to be grateful to him for that.
I like that guy.
I like
it, even from the very beginning. I liked him. I thought he was funny. He made me funny.
I don't like that he ate a potato salad.
No,
you don't touch someone else's potato salad.
But you know, in his defense, her name was not on it, and apparently on the night shift, if nothing's on it, then it's, you know, I think it was just.
How is that ever a thing?
Yeah, who goes
when do you
the
open a fridge and be like, there's a good little to-go container from somebody's house. I'm gonna eat that.
It wasn't even like a store-bought one that you think somebody just picked up at the grocery store and stocked the fridge. No. Like, this looked homemade. So I wouldn't have done it. But
I know this is like a problem in other TV shows too. Like, the night shift ate my stuff. Like in other shows I've watched. I'm just like, who does that? Because that is just rude.
I mean, I've brought soup for coworkers, but like, I've actually brought an extra bowl for them. Like, when I make my like white bean chicken chili, they all loved it. So I would bring like, extra for somebody else to have some. But I don't think they would have just ate it if I didn't offer it. I mean, that's just weird.
Yeah, you don't just take food out of the fridge. It's not yours. No. Come on,
maybe like a soda or something. Because I mean, they did used to stock like waters and sodas in our fridge. That might be one thing. But I mean, like, if you don't know for sure that it's been stocked with this stuff, like, don't take it.
Yeah, most people don't stock the work fridge with potato salad.
Potato salad, homemade.
Homemade potato
salad. Water and soda, I understand. Homemade potato salad, not usually.
And then what did he say to her about like her making it and calling her little lady or something? And that other guy's face was like, oh, that's not what you say to Grace.
Actually, my husband made it.
Which made me love Jed even more. I'm like, look at him in there cooking, making her some lunch. I love it.
I could just imagine him in there.
Yeah, I loved it. But but he's moving to daytime permanently, so
so we're gonna get more of them.
Yes.
And I'm kind of excited about that,
because this is like, we've never seen Grace not like someone, so like, this was really strange to see her like have an issue with someone,
but I think she likes him now already.
I think kind of stepping on her turf, and it's just kind of different.
I think he annoys her.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it.
Yeah. Agreed.
And he stole her desk, so I'd be mad about that too.
Yeah. So does he move the toys every day?
I guess.
Because like, he's like, I always have to have them here. But that was his desk at night. So does he take them off every day?
Yeah, he would have to.
And he must clean the desk really well, because Grace has never noticed her workstation being like gross. So at least he cleans up after himself.
That was my way. That was my way of thinking about it.
Yeah. I could see where that is though, with like her seat. I know it's not really a assigned seat, but if you've gotten used to somewhere, like, it would bother me, I think.
That would really bother me. Like, I'm that type of person that I would I have probably sat there and fought him for my seat.
I would have been like rushing in there from now on to get there first. Like I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I wouldn't been confrontational enough to make him get up then, but the next morning I would have been there like ridiculously early to make sure I grabbed it.
I would probably just annoy the crap out of him so they moved away. I'd sit right next to him. And I'd bring in the stinkiest food. And yeah.
But I don't think Dave would mind. That's
bring in steamed broccoli every day.
Oh my God. We make that a lot at our house. We had the discussion the other day what that smelled like, and David didn't believe me. He's like, "You're right. That's gross."
Yes, we had this really fun, hilarious episode right up until the last minute.
Oh my God. I'm still not fully there.
No, I'm not either. It hasn't sunken in.
No, I was really upset. I knew, like Tiffany had said in the chat, like, something bad happened. So like I was waiting. Like, okay, what's gonna happen? I'm like, nothing happened. I thought Tiffany was crazy. I'm like, what is she talking about?
I don't know why. I kept getting a bad feeling about Judd. I just kept like getting this bad feeling. So
I would have boycotted the show.
Okay,
forever.
well, Tiffany's like, Jeanette, you're gonna be really unhappy. And I'm like, okay, who's Jeanette's favorite person?
Judd.
And so I was like, oh no, what happens to Judd?
Yeah.
She really liked the TK's mom too. So.
I like Gwen. I mean, I've talked about it every single episode, how I've been like holding off like for her to come back and her and Owen be together. And so that's
like she's coming back now.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. That's why I knew you'd be upset.
See,
I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's so young.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
Who's gonna raise the baby?
I guess Enzo.
Well, yeah, it has a father.
I still don't know if I believe it. See, I wish that he hadn't been his father. I wish Owen had been his father.
I know. That would have been a lot better. Really, now that she's dead. Like, yeah, because it should have been his baby.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine Owen with a newborn by himself?
No.
Well, it's not really a newborn anymore, but still a baby. Like, my goodness.
Yeah. No.
Scary.
No, he did okay with TK.
I can imagine him putting like gel in the baby's hair and everything.
For sure, don't you think? Making his own baby food, like
why do you think TK looks so pretty all the time?
Yeah,
he gets it from his daddy.
It's true.
So yeah, Gwen is dead. It's so okay. This is where I was getting to. Okay.
Yeah.
I was expecting something really bad to happen to Judd the entire episode. So whenever they came out and was like, Gwen is dead, I was like, whew.
Oh,
you see me?
Yeah.
Because I was so like
nervous.
Okay, at least it's like Gwen and not Judd.
Yeah, I mean, if it had been Judd, y'all, like we would be done. I would be like, I'm done. I'm not watching this anymore. Find somebody else for your podcast on it. I'm not doing it.
Wake up in the morning, the group would be gone.
This would be DeLuca from Grey's all over again. I would be in mourning today. Like it would be terrible.
Yep. I was really afraid about tonight's podcast and watching Grey's beforehand.
Well, I'm glad that it all worked out.
It's like, oh man.
Yeah.
And next week, as if the death of Gwen isn't bad enough, their flight home, it looks like they hit a rough patch.
Is it the flight home or a flight there?
I think it's the flight there.
I think it's the flight there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they were talking about going to on the way to the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
It's like an explosion.
Yeah, it's not looking good. But I mean, they're not going to kill off Rob Lowe and they're not going to kill off Owen and TK.
No,
they can't. I mean, they can't do that. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think they would. I think we'd be okay.
So I think it's going to be fine. I think it's just they're going to have to like emergency land, and maybe TK and Owen.
They're going to have to save somebody else.
Having to save them and help. I think that's kind of where they're going in that direction.
Yeah, we can't do this. If it was just TK, I might be more worried.
Yeah,
because
if it was one or the other,
I think we're safe.
I don't think they would do both right after killing off Gwen.
You might as well just kill. I mean, the whole strand.
You should get rid of the whole family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start over from scratch. I mean, jeez.
I think
there's that baby.
Apparently, Carlos is raising the baby now.
Oh my gosh.
Or no, Enzo's still around. My gosh, why do I keep forgetting about Enzo?
Because we've never met him. I don't know anything about Enzo.
He's just a name to us.
All right. So
I think that's it for Lone Star. So it'll be back next week. So we'll see what happens then. So
prepare for the episode. That's all I'm gonna say. It's because
what is it?
I said just prepare for that next episode. I watched the live with Ronan last night, and he was just saying how difficult it was to do, and it was the hardest thing he's ever filmed.
See, that makes me worry too. Like, is it going to be something? I don't know. I don't like the idea of an explosion on a plane when I'm supposed to get on a plane here in like 3 weeks. I'm like not really excited about watching an episode on that, but that's okay, I guess.
Though he was really tired when he was doing his live last night, and I don't think he realized he gave something away because he said that he had just filmed a lot of Tarlos scenes for upcoming episodes, so that means he doesn't die.
So we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't think he realized he gave that away.
That's all right.
That's all right. They might have told him you can say that.
Yeah.
He was so
We've already
tired.
had one TK scare. I don't think, I'm
not worried. We just had a TK scare.
Yeah.
We just had a Jed scare too. That's why I was like,
he took some questions right before he hopped off, and one of them was like, why do they keep trying to kill TK? He's like, that's a really good question. I don't know.
Agreed.
Like every season they try and kill this poor man multiple times now.
Yeah, that's true. It's like poor Eddie though. I feel like Eddie's been through it over on like the regular one. You're not all the way there yet. So
I'm not there yet.
But Eddie's been through it too.
Oh,
so,
Eddie. I like Eddie.
All right, well, let's talk the resident now. But we gotta welcome our other guest here. Maureen is gonna join us. Hello.
Hello.
For this episode of the resident, what are we? Episode or
14.
season 5, episode 14. Was a heavy one. Like I got a little emotional in different places. Like it was tough. Poor Billy. I mean, she just got so much happening. Like I feel awful for her.
I was kind of surprised with the turn that it took in her storyline this week.
Yeah.
Like the Twitter post. I mean, how did that doctor reach so many random people on the internet?
I think he has that whole board working for him. I mean, it's just not just him.
I think
he's got little helpers.
Yeah, because the Surgeon General seems surprised by the admission, but I think he took it on word that I think he dug up probably some stuff for him. I mean, on her.
Yeah.
But I was really upset at the people working in that hospital who have worked with Billy, who know Billy, who get these Twitter posts and suddenly are all up against her. Like,
yeah.
I get the I want to call them customers, but that's not the right word. Patients. I get patients canceling their surgeries because it's fear. And you hear, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's founded or not. You hear about a surgeon who's about to cut into your brain, who's paralyzed somebody. I mean, that fear is going to take over. Still don't like it, understand it, but the people in the hospital know better. And I was really disappointed in a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, in all reality, I'm not following as a normal everyday person, like the people who were canceling their surgeries because they saw on Twitter. I'm like, are you really like following your neurosurgeon on Twitter?
If it trends enough, it'll show up in like Google as a search, and like because I get like Google notifications on my phone all the time, and I'm like, I wasn't looking for that, but it's just a popular thing that's like, for instance, the Teen Wolf thing when it came out that Dylan O'Brien might not be appearing because he's defending Art and Joe. Like that was, I had like 50 Google notifications, and I wasn't looking for that. I mean, someone was talking to me about it in a personal chat, but that happens, and I think that it's definitely Jeanette.
So now, for me, it's because I have alerts set up. So when Dylan O'Brien tweets something, I get an alert to my Twitter.
Well, yeah, yes, I see those all the time because our FFC account is connected to that.
It's the only one that has an alert.
It's just a Google search comes up and it has all these different news stories. So I think if it trends enough, it's going to pop up in your news searches. And I think that's what happened there.
It's just weird how it popped up on everybody's phones at the exact same time when she enters the hospital.
That was irritating. Like, yeah.
Convenient.
Ding, 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 ding.
Even when she confided in Conrad, that nosy
intern who is, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. There's something to be said about an intern who cares more about gossip than doing her medical job.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. But I mean, Trevor is pretty stellar when it comes to her. And I like how he puts her in his place and he just walks away. But the other thing I didn't like is how, who's the one I hate? Not hate, don't like. The one who killed Nick. Cade, that's her name.
She said the one that killed Nick?
Yes, remember we decided that's her secret, that she killed Nick.
I didn't decide that. But okay.
I think we figured out her secret already now.
We're not getting to that yet. I'm still not convinced that she did not kill Nick.
I think we figured it out.
But even when Trevor stood up for Billy then, Cade still was, she even was a little gossipy about it.
Yeah.
She brought up to Conrad that Trevor stood up for him. Ooh, he must like her. Like, why? It's not your business. What are you telling Conrad about it for?
Yeah.
Gossip,
it happens everywhere.
I know, and I hate the gossipy. I don't like it. Yeah. And the reason I don't like it is because both that intern and Cade were sitting there staring and watching and just waiting for nuggets of information to fall.
At least Cade, though, like she asked Conrad, what can I do? And he said, shut down any rumors. And she seemed receptive to that. Like, so, I mean, she wasn't, the intern for sure was just ready to like condemn Billy right there. So,
and when she heard Conrad, she immediately ran to Trevor and told him what she heard. So it was good that she told him that it was good information. It wasn't bad information with Billy still. You weren't a part of that conversation. I know, I'm glad she did, but it still just like bugged me like 3 seconds ago.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I was surprised too that we could see from the preview that Porter was gonna convince you to hold it in or return it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, withdraw it. I can't think of the right words tonight. Yeah. But when he said we remember the past very differently, it still gave me the creepiest of creepy vibes. Like,
yeah.
And I love that Billy's like, I was 13. Law's pretty clear. That's what everyone in America is thinking right now.
Like, I was trying to figure out how old do we think he was? Like,
well, he's Belle's age.
Yeah, so I mean, he's
probably like 30 years older than her right now.
So like how, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you were, none of it would be right, but if you were like 20 and she was 13, like maybe in some weird adolescent mind, you could try to spin that like, oh, she wanted to do this. You were like old enough to be her father. Like, there's definitely no other way to spin this. Like,
it's better.
Disgusting. Like,
you're just a disgusting pedophile. And
she was a child. Like, she wasn't even like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And for him to say,
like she was 17.
Phone. Yeah.
I mean, it's still wrong. Don't get me wrong. But she was 13. 13.
You're not even in high school yet.
No.
I mean,
you were a baby.
That's a baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it wasn't even, it's not even like it was consensual, even if that is the argument. It was, he raped her. Like, he took her by force against her will.
Yeah.
At third, like,
and got her pregnant. I mean, that's a whole nother trauma.
And when she withdraw it, I kind of was like, I actually moved seats to get really close to the TV because I was getting real mad. Like, are you kidding me? There's going to be no repercussions for this guy. Are you serious? And I was getting really upset. But even when she came there, he's like, give me your phone so I can make sure you're not recording it. Wow, this dude sucks.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even going to attempt to spin it. He was just like, yeah, I'm a rascal. I know I am. Like,
part of me was hoping she had like another phone in her other pocket or something where she was recording something. I was so hoping something was going to come from that. But
like maybe she's got a wire in her bra or something,
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that someone like Conrad or AJ was around the corner ready to hit him. That's what I wanted to happen.
That would have been nice.
I wanted him to get clocked from the side of the face. But she does say that she's going to withdraw the complaint, and she goes, and I like that Belle and Kit immediately were like, no, don't do that. So I like that they still stood by her. I also really like that not only were they saying no, but they showed up to the hearing when she didn't even ask them to, because I don't remember if it was, I think it's Kit who said, we're a team.
Yeah.
Like the relief that showed on her face. And so I thought at that moment, okay, she's certainly not going to withdraw it now. Certainly not.
Yeah.
And then she did, and my whole heart just kind of dropped. Like, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, she felt like she had to. I see why.
I get from a mother's point of view why she was doing it. Yeah. But Trevor, man, whew.
That's when I cried.
Mm-hmm.
With him, I cried because that was just so traumatic. Like,
yeah. And she already didn't think anyone was going to show up for her. And not only does she have Kit and Belle, but she's got Trevor coming to the rescue.
Yeah. I had this like feeling that he would just show up. And she kept talking and I kept waiting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Like, is he gonna come through the doors? And I started getting
worried a little bit.
Yeah. And then he came through. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then
I was waiting for it after his conversation with AJ.
Yeah. That's why I was like, oh no, he's gonna have to come to these doors. And they just kept going. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
You don't need to push it that close to the line.
Had to make it dramatic. Yeah.
My goodness.
No, I mean, how smart is that kid? Like, I mean, he just dug right in and found all of this stuff. I mean, it made me like him so much more. Just all, I mean, he figured it all out. But just
and poor AJ, man.
I know, and AJ just had to. I mean, at that point, you got to confirm it. I mean, like the kid knows, like it is what it is.
What else is he gonna do?
Yeah, that was tough.
I mean, AJ was in a hard place where he didn't want Trevor to have this information either. He knew what this information would mean, especially as he understands the feeling of abandonment. He certainly didn't want Trevor to have this information. But on top of that, a friend of his who confided in him in secrecy asked him not to say anything. So, I mean, AJ was in a real tough spot.
Yeah, but I mean, Trevor already knew.
Yeah.
It's not like AJ really told him anything. He just confirmed it.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think Billy will have any towards
absolutely not
towards AJ or nothing like that. So,
but I'm sure that was going through AJ's head when he first started telling him about it. I think that at first AJ was kind of hoping against hope that maybe he doesn't know the full story yet. At first,
I don't know how Trevor's going to be after this. The repercussions for after this mentally.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to be.
On like one hand, I mean, obviously it's awful to think about you being a product of a rape and all of that. But I think it also, on the other hand, does something for his relationship with Billy, because now he knows that it wasn't that she just didn't want him. If he understands that all of this was to always protect him and that obviously she loved him, the whole time.
Yeah.
So I hope after some time
bring some sort of healing.
Yeah. That it'll be good that he knows. I mean, obviously it's going to be really hard for a while.
Yeah.
To deal with that thought,
and that was the first time that Billy showed affection to him too.
When she hugged him, oh my God, I think I cried then too.
And I think it was in that moment that he kind of when he realized why she was lying, because he even said that she was doing it to protect me. I think realizing that, he understood why she wasn't affectionate with him as an adult either, because she let herself get too close. She would have the desire to tell him all the answers to all of his questions, and she just could not do that. So the fact that he knows now, and there's nothing secret between them, that there is no hidden anything, they're going to be able to be open with each other moving forward. They're going to be able to actually heal from something, because he knew she was hiding something. She obviously knew she was hiding something. That was always something that was right in the middle of the relationship.
Yeah.
But good on him for saying
more of them.
Break. Yeah.
I mean, because you can tell she wants a relationship with him. She loves him. It is her son.
Yeah.
She wants that connection with him. So I'm hoping they do dive deeper into that, because I really want to see that relationship.
Sure.
I do too. I think they will. I think eventually, I don't know if right off the bat, but I think eventually they'll
have
a really good relationship.
He might need some time to get over
process.
Yeah.
As good as it is that this is out in the open, they both need time to heal from this.
Yeah.
I mean, not only is he just finding this out, and he even used the word, it looked like he forced himself to use the word pedophile, because that's exactly what his father is. So that's some pain that's going to have to be healed, but also her being attacked and brutalized in this way is another thing. Anyone else get satisfaction? I know we passed this, but anyone else get satisfaction on the look on his face when Trevor announced that I am her daughter and he's my father?
Yeah. Because he started being a jerk to Trevor, and I was like, I was like, ooh, here it comes. He's got to say something. Because I got kind of nervous that Trevor wasn't going to say, I don't know. I wasn't completely confident that he was going to save the day, or if he was going to freeze.
I think one thing that can never be said about Trevor that can always be said about Trevor is that he's brave.
He is.
in a lot of
He is.
situations that he shouldn't be. So I didn't doubt that, because I think that took a lot of courage to do what he did. And I felt like if he was going to come in the room, that was his whole purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it was.
Mhm.
So
I did clap.
I did too.
You know?
Sitting alone in my living room.
Yep.
Like, yay. So, but Trevor wasn't the only person who had Billy's back either. Kit felt some repercussions of this complaint too.
Wasn't such a great episode for Kit.
It was like, what, you guys gonna take her out and put her boyfriend in? Like, what is that gonna do?
I know, what
Dumb.
makes no sense. Yeah. That was just to save face. I mean, that's all that was.
Yeah, it's better that Belle's in that position than someone else.
Yeah,
Well,
once they said it's gonna be Belle, and I was like, oh, okay.
I also don't think a lot of the public know the relationship between Belle and Kit.
Maybe not.
So
maybe it's a good thing.
And maybe the board doesn't fully understand the relationship between Belle and Kit.
Maybe
Kit's
not.
pretty self-sufficient. She probably doesn't need the board all that much.
But I was so surprised. Like, I mean, Marshall was the only one who like had her back in that meeting. Like, it wasn't even close. Everyone voted her out except for him.
I'm glad Marshall was there though. I was happy to see him, by the way.
I know.
Yes.
We hadn't seen him in I guess since Nick died, right?
I sometimes forget he's on there until I was like, oh yeah, I like Marshall. Like, where's he been?
He's like another Belle story where he became one of my favorite characters because he started off terrible and then it's like, oh, yeah, I like you, Grandpa.
See, every time I see him, I just think of
Landry's
I'm like,
dad.
oh, Landry.
I know.
I don't even think like Landry's dad. I just like I look at him like, oh, Landry.
Yeah.
Like it just I totally bypassed the dad part.
It's just Jesse Plemons. He
just Jesse Plemons comes up. I'm like, okay.
I want to see more scenes of him with Gigi.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, me too.
Did we even get Gigi this episode?
There's no
we
Gigi.
didn't, did we?
Nope.
Just talk.
We really didn't get much Conrad either.
No, not really.
No.
Boo. Oh, but guys, I do. We I don't want to miss out. The opening to this episode was amazing.
Did anyone else catch what name was thrown around in there?
No.
AJ said, saw Marion walking to your house this morning. Marion's the preschool teacher.
That's right. That's right.
I know, because I was bummed out.
That.
I was like, oh, so Marion's still in the picture.
So they took her away visibly. But apparently Conrad and Marion are still a thing.
While we're on this subject of Conrad, I kind of forgot about this too. I really think the Billy Conrad thing's gonna happen, guys.
Yeah, they keep giving us little hints here and there, and then they take it away and they give it back.
I'm on board.
I don't know.
I don't know that I am.
I'm on board.
I don't know if I'm on board. I think they're heading this way, but I don't know if I'm on board. I'm really I think after next week we're gonna feel more Conrad Kate vibes.
If she can be a little warmer, because right now she's just a little too cold for me. Like,
but maybe
like
if he
her.
gets to know her though more, and maybe she will warm up.
Maybe
to be him. I think she's just so close.
If she killed Nick, that's not going to be a possibility. I'm just going to single-handedly start that rumor on the internet.
Somebody in our group thought that Nick is coming back. Like, did you all see that?
Yes.
I'm like, did anybody?
Oh, that's sad.
Did you see the comments?
No, but I figured they were bad, but I didn't get to see them all. But like,
one comment, she's like, "Oh yeah, my husband can come back too."
Oh gosh, I remember that. That's dark. Like,
whoa. I mean, no need to take it to a real place like that. My goodness. Right?
But in reality, though, like, I'm like, first of all, where did they even get this idea that anyone's coming back? Like, I haven't seen any teaser. And why would you go to Nick? Nick's organs are scattered across the country.
What are you going to do? Collect her from all over the country?
Heart is in a different patient.
So, like, this doesn't work. Like,
excuse me, I need this heart back. I'm sorry.
It's not like it's a kidney or half of a liver that she donated. Her heart is no longer in her body.
Go there.
My mind went to Mina.
That's what I'm saying. If you said somebody was coming back, I would think Mina. I don't think that's happening either.
No.
But that's where my mind would go. It wouldn't go to the person that we actually saw die on screen and donate her organs to everybody. Like
honestly, literally a few weeks ago, we just listened to her heart.
Yeah. And even if she didn't give away her organs and they made us sit through that freaking sad episode of the funeral procession, I'd be so mad if they brought her back.
Right?
I would be scared.
No. They can't bring her back.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I think that came from nowhere, but I thought it was funny.
Well, I mean, other people are like, maybe in a dream or a flashback.
No,
I'm like, no, she needs to cut her
She's not-
ties and just like move on. We can't
Yeah,
like
she's
keep
all done.
harping on her.
I mean, Emily's not going to do that. I don't think. I think she's
No.
done. Like,
The only
That's
one we
why
don't
they
have
killed
closure
her.
on is Mina, who kept
Yeah.
saying, if I do it this way, then I can come back. So that's that's the only one that's a possibility. But I did love that opening scene with Conrad and AJ working out in the, and I like AJ's like, I can do this all day. And his phone rang. He's like, Saved by the Bell. Who they didn't say a name of the girl that they thought he was losing weight for, did they? Or getting in shape for?
no, they didn't say.
So just Marion. Okay. So it makes me wonder if Marion is coming back, and maybe
don't
we'll
know.
see. Maybe that's how we'll get more interaction with Marshall and Gigi.
I
is
don't
maybe
know.
he picks her up from Marion or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
not
know
on
if
board with
Marion's
Kit, and I'm
just
not on board
a.
with Billy.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people for Conrad, though. If we got Billy
Yeah.
in the mix and we got Kate, like I think Marion
look
just
at
needs
him.
to go away. I mean,
Look at him,
I
though.
agree. I mean, like, but I don't want to see. We don't need 3 prospects. Let's just
No.
knock
To
it
be
down to
fair,
2.
I don't think Billy is a prospect.
I do. I think
I was
so.
getting. I feel like they were trying to give us
Major
vibes this
vibes.
week.
I am on board with AJ and Billy.
I like
but I'm
that
not
too.
on
But
board
I
with
like that
Conrad and
better.
Billy.
I like that
they've
better.
completely dropped them off. Like they haven't had a scene together in like
No.
forever, other than like maybe a brief little like talking about surgery thing.
I
So,
like the.
AJ
I want
was still protecting
Conrad.
her.
I know.
Like if we were gonna go that route, I would think that we would have had a scene this episode of him because he already knew the whole story. We would have seen him going to her, and we didn't have that. So I think that storyline's dropped for some reason.
I think it makes more sense.
I don't think Billy needs to be with anybody right now. To be honest,
I don't either.
No. But I'm telling you, I think it's happening with her and Conrad. I don't know.
I don't.
And surprisingly, everybody in our group is on board with this. Have you noticed all the people
I
commenting about
know.
it?
No.
I thought people
Yeah.
would be really against this. But
We're like,
no.
I'm not reading that.
are on board.
I only read things that prove I'm right.
I think they're gonna. I don't know. I think it's gonna end up being a love triangle. Maybe we'll see.
That's gonna be
I don't know.
annoying too, because I don't want to deal with that.
I think I would like a good love triangle.
No, I don't know. I think I need to see next week, and then I'll be able to tell you my opinion because I think next week's going to be such a Cade heavy episode.
Yeah, true.
And they even said they said everybody thought that whenever they brought Cade in, that was supposed to be Conrad's new love interest.
Yeah.
They didn't confirm anything, but that
I
was
feel that
the
too.
rumor. So I don't
A good
know.
love triangle. You know?
I think wait till next week, and then I think we can see better of what's
Maybe some
going on.
battles of like who we should pick kind of thing. Like I love those kind of discussions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we got to see Kid a good bit this week,
We
and
did.
we got to see her in surgery again.
Yes.
That was nice.
Oh,
Mhm.
I love that.
And that was a crazy surgery too.
Yes.
I like
That
that she
was.
was like, Tara and I both need this.
I'm ready.
She just killed it. But
So
who is the nurse that was scrubbing in?
Oh, that was so funny.
I love that.
and
I
I
love
love that
it.
he knew exactly what to do.
Mhm.
What was it that
Can I
AJ
say-
said?
Before we jump completely into Bella's scrub nurse, did anyone else think that OR was incredibly dark?
I feel like their ORs are always dark.
And I don't understand that because I feel like you need to be able to see. That's the only
the-
show.
I've
with
never been in
spotlights.
one that was dark.
It's not
Haven't
like
either.
no. It's like the gates of heaven are open. Like, I mean, it's like crazy, but only on the Resident. I feel like in Grey's Anatomy, it's nice and bright in there for the most part. On Chicago Med, it's nice and bright in these places. Only on the Resident.
And the new
ORs
doctor, it's dark.
are on what?
The new doctor?
The
Something?
good doctor.
Good doctor. That's what it is. Yep.
Oh, okay, I've not seen that one.
Clearly, I've
Good
seen that
doctor. I
show
was
a
like,
lot.
what is that?
But that doesn't make any sense. Like you should be well lit.
Yeah,
in
all they
OR.
use are the lights that they're using directly on
Yeah.
the spot. I don't know if it helps you focus more there. I don't know. I mean, clearly I've never been awake for a surgery except for my C-section, but my C-section was bright, bright, bright.
That's what I'm saying. That's the one I was in. I mean, like almost like I needed sunglasses
Mhm.
on. Like it was that bright in there. It's weird.
I didn't have C-section, so I can't. I don't know. I've never had a surgery. I had my kidney stones removed, but I was put under, so I guess that's technically kind of a surgery. But it was bright in
surgery.
there.
Kind of.
And it was probably well lit because you need to be
It
able to see
was.
everything.
It
I mean, I'm no
was.
doctor, but I don't know. It was dark.
It is. It always is really dark in the resident surgery.
My C-section was
rooms.
definitely blinding.
Mhm.
It was, yeah. I mean,
Cold. It was very bright.
It was so
Like,
I was
tapped
very
to the table like
uncomfortable the
this.
whole time.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. But back to Belle as the scrub nurse, because
Oh.
that
I didn't
was,
mean to
one of
jump
my
that. I
favorite
just
Remember what
wanted to
AJ said.
I wish I'd wrote down what all the little one-liners were, because they were so good.
Oh, there were a ton of good one-liners.
Mhm.
It's like the man something, the scrub nurse.
The man, the myth.
Yes,
Was it
maybe
the
that
man,
was
the
it.
myth?
The man, the myth, the scrub
I
nurse.
know, because like
So
the
funny.
regular, the man, the myth, the legend. That's the normal saying. The man, the myth, the scrub nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the whole thing was hilarious.
So this episode, Bell was surgeon, he was CEO, and he was scrub nurse.
Yep.
Like he ran the gamut of positions in the hospital
He
this
did.
episode.
He did. And by the end
He
of it, he
did.
was probably going to be elected onto the medical board too. So
Oh yeah, that's right. It
That's true.
Yeah.
was a
It was
good
a
day,
good day.
for Dr. Bell.
I don't know
But
if
is
he would
this-
agree with you.
Is this reality? Like, I mean, would you really do, is the nurse shortage so bad that you would really do a surgery where you have literally 2 people in the room?
No.
I can't imagine. Like, that's just
I
like,
think-
Sounds safe.
I think that they
You mean
are.
2 surgeons, or are you talking about like because
There
Leela
was-
and Kit were in there?
there was nobody else.
Oh, it was just Bell
No
and
nurses
Kit.
or anything.
Yeah, I didn't even see an anesthesiologist. Did you all like?
Mm-mm.
I didn't see.
There
any.
has
Where
to be
was
an
Dr. Chu?
anesthesiologist in there.
I feel like I
mean,
don't feel like I remember that surgery as well as I should. I remember the one Billy did.
You know, this
More than I
scene
remember
was
the Bell
so
and Kit one.
weird.
It was because it was
literally-
Yeah.
it was
It
like
was-
nobody in there.
It was AJ and Kit, and then Bill walked in. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, like I was
You're
looking
right,
like, where's
yeah.
Dr. Chu? He's supposed to be like sitting behind the patient. He wasn't
Yeah.
there. Like no one was there.
I think they were trying to exaggerate.
It seems
Again.
so unrealistic. And this is the dark room that I'm talking about.
But I mean,
like I
The
thought we were
anesthesiologist though,
practicing.
he's not a nurse though. So anesthesiologists are always there. They get paid real well no matter where
I'm
they go.
telling you though, I didn't see him. He wasn't there.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I don't think I was paying enough attention during that spot.
Like I
don't
really thought we
remember
were
anybody
Because he was
practicing.
there for Billy's when Billy was doing it, he was there.
It was weird.
It was that whole little part was really weird. I think they were just trying to exaggerate the nurse shortage
Nurse
right now.
shortage, Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, because in America it is a problem and it
It
needs to
is.
be addressed.
Yeah.
And I think they were just trying to really exaggerate that to make awareness of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I was really scared that Jessica was going to leave.
Yeah.
And I was
I
like,
was too.
excuse me, you can't leave because then Irving leaves.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
was getting real nervous about that. But good on her though. I was really proud of her for
Mhm.
like going to at least do this interview.
And she was
And
honest
not
about it
even- I
too.
mean,
Mhm.
what was it?
She was honest about it too. She didn't hide it from anybody. That's what she was doing.
Exactly. And Irving was the perfect supportive husband that was just like, we'll talk about it,
Mhm.
like, but he wasn't like just telling her no when knowing he probably definitely didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Um,
We even said Chastain is our home.
Yeah.
Because I guess they talked about it before.
right.
Mhm.
So it
She
wasn't a new conversation.
negotiated. With CEO Bell like a boss, man. I mean, like,
Yep.
I wish I could have known what was on those pieces of paper they were
I
passing.
know, I was
back
trying to
then.
read the back of it, but it looked like circles.
That's probably all it was.
I was like, Irving, you're my sugar mama.
I like that too. Yeah.
I'm like,
I
wait,
love
he's a
those
doctor.
two.
Is she making more money as a nurse than he is as a doctor right
He's
now?
an ER doc, yeah. I
That's
will
crazy.
say that I was really excited and I even cheered a little bit to see them together because I think this is the first
Mhm.
time this season we've seen them together, isn't it?
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
if not just the other couple times.
And they're,
maybe.
I mean, they shine the light on other couples so regularly, but they're married and they're a couple and they're awesome and they need to be shown more.
Yeah.
you know.
They work the same shifts clearly because she's working doubles and triples, so they have to have some overlap.
Yeah. Yeah. It was nice to, which, I mean, Jessica, other than the canon, like we hadn't really seen her hardly at all this
The
season.
canon.
I
right?
know. But the cannon was
So-
funny, at least.
Yeah, we got so more screen time for Jessica, but we also got to see someone else that I'd almost forgotten that they like existed in this world right now. But Padma was back and she had some really
Yay.
fun like scenes with Leela.
They seem to use these characters to bring them back just when they need to move along a certain storyline or put drama into someone else's storyline.
Yeah. They cracked me up. Okay, I had a little side story. So I was watching this with and Ben's walking through the room, and he stops and he's watching for a second, and it's Leela and Padma talking to each other, and he's like, "Is that one person playing two people, or is that
Maureen
two
will tell you.
people?"
We
I was
all
like, no,
thought
it's
it
two
was.
people.
No, we
He's
did
like-
not all think it was.
We
Everyone
didn't
but
all at
Maureen.
first.
Maureen was the only one who knew it was two different people.
But now I look at them and I see like a major difference in
Yeah,
them.
I can tell them apart now
So I don't know how I couldn't tell
because
before.
they look so similar. If you didn't know,
Well, they shot it to make you think that. Though.
Yeah.
yeah,
They like the preview, they only showed us a couple seconds of her and AJ, and it was like the side of her head in a dark room on a bed sideways. It's like,
yeah.
Please
that's
keep
Leela,
talking
right?
about how hard it was. I want you to keep telling everybody how difficult it is to tell them apart because
Oh,
that's like my
gosh.
crowning moment. That is the one moment I get, other than the fact that Mom wrote the note in Cruel Summer.
Sure.
I was gonna say Cruel Summer.
Okay,
Yeah, we
Tiffany's
got
gonna be a
two,
face. You're
though.
right. I'm right way more often than that. You're right.
Okay,
You're right.
okay.
Look at her
That's
face.
I mean, you say it's too much. It's got to be true that you're right more often, right?
It does. You're right. It does. But I do want to say that Padma's like, I'm ready to adult. I'm gonna have a baby. Let's start
I
with
didn't
something
agree with
smaller
that.
first.
Yeah, that's not how
Yeah.
I want to start.
Maybe get a
adulting.
dog.
Yeah. Or a house.
Yeah,
Or
the
an
house is a good
apartment.
step.
Well, she's looking at the house.
Yeah.
Doesn't have it yet. Still living out of her van by the river.
I mean,
Perfectly
I
nice
know.
place to raise the baby. Okay. It's
Where
by
does
the
she charge her?
water.
Well, I guess she charges her crystals at their house. I was wondering if she is at like in her van by the river. I'm thinking, what do you do with all your crystals? That part cracked me up.
They have to
Did you
charge
have to
somewhere, not on the floor.
It made me laugh because the same day Amanda sends us a picture of her crystals in our chat asking us about if
I
anybody
was
else
real
has
confused
crystals.
by that.
And I was like, do you charge them on the floor like Padma? Like, so what is it?
I don't have
Explain
any.
this since you're the crystal guru. Like, what does this mean to charge them? Like, I don't fully understand, to be honest.
To charge the healing powers that they have, the
So you-
energy.
Like, how did like
What does the floor have to do with that?
can you charge them anywhere?
Being nearer to the ground.
Okay. Is it do they each
Or-
have different powers? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm serious. I'm curious. What,
like
okay.
this one.
She's
like,
got one. Okay.
I have them like all around me. Like this one is a rose quartz, and it
Mhm.
is good for like anxiety and depression.
I need some of those.
So like all the ones that like I wear around my wrist,
Mhm.
these are all for anxiety and depression. I don't know. Do they work? I don't know. But
Those are-
it's
I mean, I think if you think they work, they probably do work. I think that's probably more of what it is. I mean,
I have like a calming thing because I like just holding them in my hand and just kind of like fidgeting with them.
yeah.
And it calms me. I don't know. It's probably nothing.
Whatever
but it
works.
works in my head. So
I think that's probably the majority of it. If you believe
Yeah.
something, it's,
totally.
cool. I had to ask.
So I wonder with Padma, I wonder what made her go from, I like the idea of living in a van and traveling wherever I want to travel to, okay, I'm ready to have a baby and buy a house.
I know.
Yeah.
Because the last time we saw her, she was talking about how great it was to have no strings.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden she's very concerned about adulting and starting a family.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
just a
Crazy
phase.
story.
I don't want it to be though. I don't want them to make her a flake. Like
I don't
No.
either.
that'll
But
bug me
she's so
because I like her. I think she's a fun, like fresh addition, like to the
Mhm.
cast. And
I do too. I really like
don't
Padma,
know.
but she's
She
just
didn't
also
really-
not the person to. I mean, like Maureen, like you said, if she goes and like buys a house first,
Mhm.
Or
and
even an
maybe-
apartment.
yeah, something, and like get a dog, get a cat, get a freaking bird. I don't
Make sure you
know.
can keep a plant alive for a minute.
Keep something alive, rather. I mean,
Granted, I can't keep plants alive, and I keep my kids alive.
That's why I said a minute.
because plants are
My
hard.
plants survive a minute. Can you take out just one egg from somebody?
I think when
I
they do that, I think they take out multiple.
Yeah, because so
Usually.
what Leela's asking, or what Padma's asking, is actually a pretty big ask, then, isn't it?
Mhm.
I
Because you
don't
can't.
know.
It's not like you can just
because
reach in there with the tweezers and take out one single egg and take it out and implant it. That's
I
not
think
how
it
works.
could be a big deal. I mean, like,
I think that they should go visit the doctor. I think that they
That's a
should.
good idea.
I mean, like, go look at Leela's eggs. What if she has a ton? awesome. Then yeah, she can afford to give Padma some. But if she's like already low, I'd be like, hey girl, you're like, sorry.
Exactly.
Find a new way to be an adult.
I feel like there needs to be there. I mean, obviously there's going to have to be more of a discussion.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to know Devin's input into this. Because we did see my boy walk in at the very end.
Yeah.
And I think that she was telling him, right?
No.
I felt like
Padma was telling Leela, and Leela just said, I have to process. And then right after she said that, he opened the door and came in.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why.
And that's, and I mean, obviously, it's Leela's decision. It's her body, whatever. But at the same time, this is someone that she's building a life with. So I think he needs to be involved in the discussion at least.
Especially if it affects their future.
Yeah, I mean, if she doesn't have a whole lot of eggs, and this could potentially affect if they're going to have children ever, then he needs to be involved in the discussion.
I don't know if they'll ever have children because
she's never going to get
crazy loca wants to get freaking double board certified,
which
still pissing me off.
And now talking about this, I feel like we're just going to have issues with Devin and Leela coming up, and I'm not happy about it.
I'm going to be irritated if they do that too, because they built up. They took away the whole middle part of the relationship from us.
Yeah.
And then they're together solidly living together. They're a solid relationship, solid couple. If they take it away, I'm going to be mad.
And poor Devin has had such crap luck in love that I'm like, don't do this to him again.
I think Leela will be his end.
I hope so.
I think so too.
I really think so. Will they stay together all this season? Who knows?
But I think too well to be separate.
I think in the end, I think they will be, together. That's just it. I don't know. It feels right. And plus, the love lady said
exactly
that they were a good match. So you have to take her word.
I loved that scene. That scene was so amazing.
It was. All right, so
it's going to be awkward for Leela too. I mean, even regardless of if she does or doesn't have enough eggs, it would still technically be her child. And to watch your twin sister raise the child, that would be weird for me.
It would me too.
I mean, but they are twins,
so yeah.
I mean, I don't have any siblings, so I don't really understand the whole concept of how close siblings are.
I would do it with one of my brothers.
I mean,
I don't have sisters, I only have brothers, but if one of my sister-in-laws couldn't get pregnant and they needed an egg and I had eggs to give, I would.
I think I would too.
With that though, her childhood illness is cancer, right?
Yes.
You can still get pregnant after going through cancer treatments.
Yeah.
A friend of mine got pregnant 3 times after getting cancer and getting chemo.
I think it's just harder.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
Sometimes it does sterilize people, but it doesn't always.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? I guess we'll have to see what's coming up. But the next episode, it looks like we might get some more information on Kate and her past. Finally.
Yeah, that looks pretty interesting. What, the FBI, the mob?
Okay, who called mob? I feel like somebody said mob. Maureen, if you called mob, you just shut up down there.
No.
Did you say mob?
I think I said something about the mob. Yeah.
She said
because
witness
it
protection.
Makes sense.
Jeanette said witness protection.
Yeah. The mob makes sense. She looks like she could be in the mob.
I don't like that she's pulling Conrad into this.
I think he's jumping into this.
I was going to say, I don't know if I'd say she's pulling him in.
Maureen she does not like Kate, and this is what's going on here. But
I'm just looking for reasons to hate her now because I don't like her.
He wants to be involved.
Cold and unfriendly and mean.
I think she'll change.
I think that you see how he is with Billy, you see how he is with Trevor, you see how, like, when she said that about Trevor in this episode, Conrad turned right around to go back to Trevor.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a love thing yet. I think Conrad is needing to be in there. But when it said, and again, they do their previews so it confuses us or switches it up on us. But it seemed to me like he was saying he got summoned to the FBI for this. And Kate was already there. And then Kate told him why he was getting summoned there.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me. So it feels like he's being pulled in. I think he'll want to stay once he's there because that's who Conrad is. But it feels to me like he was pulling him in.
Yeah.
I agree.
We'll see, so. But it's 2 weeks though. It's not even back next week. We gotta wait 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Well, we figure out more about her character, and who knows? Maybe if she becomes less robot, I'll like her. But I don't like what she's doing to Conrad, and I don't like what that means she'll be doing to Gigi. And I don't like what she's doing to Nurse Hunley or any of the ER, our favorites. Even to Irving. She's not very nice to Irving either.
I think she'll get better.
She's fine. I think they all like her.
I think she's just very reserved
yet.
right now.
Oh, I think she's cold. I think she's borderline mean.
But we don't know what she's been through in her life. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't think she's
background.
mean. I think she's a little cold, but I think there's a reason for that.
The only one she's nice to is Conrad.
Well,
That's literally the only one she's nice to.
I mean,
I would be nice to Irving too, though.
I'd be nice to Conrad.
I'd be nice to Devin.
I'd be nice to Devin.
I'd be nice to any of those doctors in there, honestly.
So
We'll figure out more later. We'll see. We'll see if I'm on board. I don't know. I'm not now.
you have to get on board. Marion's out the door, I think.
I need someone to not like. That's what makes it fun to watch.
You
Is
need
I have
someone
an
to not
enemy.
like.
So I think we'll see if I
Bye,
can.
Tiffany. Get out of here. Shoo.
Tiffany does not watch This Is Us.
Loser.
So she's finished her time with us. We can make her fake
Tiffany.
it till she makes it, but I think it's pretty hard to do that on this show.
I mean, you
so.
can stick around, just listen to us talk
Yeah,
about a
just
show
chat
you've
with
never
us.
seen.
It's okay.
Who are these people? What are they doing?
All right, we're gonna say goodbye to Tiffany now, and
Bye,
we're gonna dig into
Tiffany.
This Is Us.
Bye.
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 All of, our
leaving now.
all of our chins moved in the same direction.
Oh.
So this episode, we did have a lot of Beth, and Beth actually remind me her real name, because I don't know anybody's real name other than Sterling K. Brown, Justin Hartley, and Chris Metz.
Susan
I know it's Susan.
Watson, but the middle name is, I can see it spelled, but I honestly don't know how to say it.
Okay, but it starts with a K, doesn't it?
Kalichi, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's Kelchi. But she wrote this episode too, or co-wrote this
Oh, I
episode.
didn't realize that.
Mhm.
That's cool.
And did she direct this or no? I think she just co-wrote it.
I don't know. I'm really bad.
But it was I didn't know that until I think someone shared the Instagram post on our page.
Okay.
But so it makes sense that it's really Beth heavy because she is Beth Pearson. She's in Beth's head.
Mm-hmm. I did. I liked that we kind of got a Beth heavy episode because we haven't had one of those in a very long time. I feel like I can't even remember like a good Beth episode.
It feel kind of choppy to me though.
Y'all, I didn't love this episode.
I only felt choppy
love it
because
either.
it was Beth heavy, but then it would dive into something completely polar opposite, and then jump back to Beth heavy, and
Yeah.
I think that's why.
I was a little bored. I mean, I love Beth. She's my favorite, but I just wasn't really, I wasn't into this storyline too much, if I'm being honest.
Like I think I didn't understand everything that was kind of happening because I kept getting distracted.
Mhm.
It was a very slow,
Yeah.
and I had just watched The Resident because they come on back to back.
Yes.
And so I was like coming off The Resident, and then This Is Us was just so like slow, like it slowed way down for me. And I was like, okay, like I was getting a little bit bored. I hate saying that about This Is Us because I love the show.
Yeah.
But I did feel a little bit bored this week. And it's a little bit disappointing to me because it's the last season and I don't want any episode.
It felt like a filler
feel.
episode for me.
Yeah, it just felt like we were getting a lot of information that we didn't need.
Right. Unless we do need it. Maybe we don't know that we need it yet. You know?
Well, I don't think because we see in this episode of Beth is we see the progression of her from little child to future Beth, where she's got the gray in her hair and she's got the wonderful dancer. So I mean, I think that's where her story leads.
Yeah, because I mean, we did see that fast forward maybe a year or two ago. Was it last season maybe? Where we saw her, as everybody's older and she was at the studio and you're kind of like, oh, how did she get back there? This episode did kind of, let us know how she did get back into that and where she is now. So it did give us information I feel like we needed.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was just like, okay, here's some information you need. Here's some fillers. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
But the stuff like her past dance coach, I felt was some information we didn't need.
Okay, what?
We didn't need
felt like I missed something with that.
When her dad died, she used to be the star of this show. When her dad died, she started to slip up in her abilities because she was focused on something else. And the head of the dance studio picked a different favorite dancer and she dropped out of dance.
I was like, so that's kind of what I had got, but I was like, she's making such a huge deal out of it, which maybe it is in the dance world. I don't know. I'm not a dancer.
Well, I think it was maybe, and it helped shape her into the kind of coach and mentor and teacher that she was going to be, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I barely remembered that storyline. Like I kind of, the only reason I recognize it because I'm like, oh, that's Luca from ER. So like I remember that he was on this show, but that was like as far as I got.
I recognized him from Practical Magic.
Well, that too, but I mean ER, I watched that for a long time.
Yeah, I forgot he was on there, but now that you say it, I can remember him on there.
Dr. Green's on one of my new shows too. This is so funny. Inventing Anna, the Shonda Rhimes new show.
That one, but I'm sorry, ER's next.
He came on there. It's like I was like, oh my gosh, Dr. Green.
He's probably so old now, I would think. Like, does he look like
doesn't look like that old? I don't know, man. I guess he's aging. I mean, it's not like he looks hot. I mean, he's never looked hot to me, but
yeah.
I mean, he doesn't look like ancient like I thought he would.
I think what I really liked about this storyline with Beth is I liked all the interactions between her and Randall. And then when she stood out there on stage with that dancer, showed a lot of who Beth, and I think that alone could show us what kind of coach she's going to be.
Yeah.
And we just needed a very brief backstory on why she left dance. But I think we've kind of gotten that over the years, why she left dance. Because this has been mentioned before. It's not the first time it's been mentioned. So we already had that information. So it felt like, why are you giving us this again? But diving deep into it, we don't need it. But when she was on that stage and Randall said, you guys are going to forget a lot about your lives, but remember this moment right now. You remember how amazing that woman is on stage. And I thought that was like, oh,
that was so sweet. All right. So the other big focus of this episode was Kevin.
Yeah, there was a Kevin making the waffles cracked me up for everybody. They kept trying to come up with names for it, and so they decide on like brunch and stuff or whatever.
No, they didn't. She said, "I like it," and then she went, "It's better." And Kevin went, "We're getting there. We're getting there."
Okay, so we're not there yet. But I thought it was nice. But he's like so excited about Thanksgiving and the twins being there, and I'm really upset with Madison over this.
And I am too, because she knows.
Yes, and I'm upset. I'm with Kevin on where he mentioned to Kate, you should have had my back on this.
Yeah.
I think she should have. I think she knows how important this is. There are a million other holidays that they can build their own traditions with, but this is the Pearsons' holiday. This is the holiday that all of them are traveling from different parts of the country to be together on Thanksgiving. It's not even like they can do it a different day or any of that. This is like, yes.
Why can they not celebrate Thanksgiving in LA? That's where everybody lives.
Because they go to the
Randall.
cabin. They go to the cabin because that's where Jack
I guess.
is. But I mean, with that, you want to start your own traditions, Madison? Fine. Do it on the Friday after Thanksgiving, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. You don't even have to go if you're uncomfortable going around, because Kate mentions, do you think she really wants to go and spend time with all the Pearsons? Then don't come, but let Kevin be there with his kids.
Yeah. Give her Christmas. Like there's ways
around this. Bring Elijah with you, but you all don't have to hang out with the Pearsons.
Go to a hotel.
Exactly. Like there's so many other ways to do this, and it bugged me. And then Kevin gives in at the end. I mean, he gives in and like tells her they can do whatever they want.
Because he's being told by everybody how selfish he is, and I think he's actually doing a pretty admirable job of not being selfish in this.
Agreed.
Not just in Thanksgiving, but I mean, even with her dating this guy that he's uncomfortable with, clearly, because he's being so effusive over it.
Yeah. I actually liked Elijah until that part. And I know he was trying to be all big, bad, and assertive, and blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what he was trying to do.
I didn't take it that way. I must be the only one. I did not take it as him trying to like
mark his territory.
I took it as more of like, not necessarily mark your territory, but just letting his intentions be known for what he feels for Madison. That's
I
all I
just don't
took it
agree
as.
with the way he said it.
And I watched it twice to go back, and I'm like, did I miss this? Like, why am I not upset about this? And I watched it again today, and I was not upset with him.
I didn't think he was aggressive, but I did when he did say, I'm well aware of my perception of being a nice guy. It's because saying I'm aware of the perception of being a nice guy means that it's just an appearance. It's not a real thing. So it's the word choice used that I was kind of like, ooh, okay. But I didn't think he was aggressive. What I did think, however, was he's saying this to Kevin, right? And he's saying, you know, if you're just waiting and biding your time, being the nice guy, just waiting for me to leave, I'm going to be here for a long time. And then the next scene when they come back from commercial break is Miguel and Rebecca and him. They're basically having the same conversation of, you know, we're just going to be friends for right now. And then they end up together later on. So I think that was an indication that Madison and Kevin are endgame there because they played those two scenes back to back.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, it could be. I just don't.
I think we got our answer this season, this episode.
I think so too. Unfortunately, I'm not happy with it, but
I am.
Because he's married to someone else. And if they introduce someone new, it's completely destroys the whole 6 seasons. Like, why? Why did you do that to us for 6 seasons? Why?
They needed to find themselves.
Yeah, but it's got to be someone. My point is, it's got to be someone we know. It's either Sophie, which they did reintroduce this season, but I don't know.
It's Sophie. Until the end of this, I am sticking to it, Sophie. I thought it was Sophie from the very beginning, and then I was like, okay, maybe it is Madison, but it has to be Sophie. I just keep going back to Sophie because I mean they harp on Sophie too much. They want us to know all their backstory and all their fights and why they broke up. They want us to know all this stuff about Kevin and Sophie. Like, why do we need to know so much of their background? If that wasn't important in the end game.
I'd be okay if it was Sophie. I wouldn't mind that, but
I'd be very happy.
I think that they've put so much of it into Kevin and Madison over the last 2 years. And we've seen way more of Madison than we have of Sophie. And I think that I almost think they're putting the Sophie stuff in there so that we think it's Sophie.
They could be.
It could be. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Sophie now too, because I don't know. I'm leaning towards Sophie now, but not because I want it. I would rather it be Madison, but I think Sophie is who it's going to be. Because my issue is with Sophie. Like, I feel like they have already tried this twice, and it failed twice.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think they were a great first love, but I'm kind of I don't know. But you know,
I think Kevin's grown a lot as well.
Because I was on board with Sophie when they reunited as adults. I was totally like Team Sophie at that moment. Well, it didn't work out. And then I'm like, okay, I'm over this. Like, I don't want to keep going back and forth.
No.
But
I think the only way one more shot.
The only way they would tie it in is Kevin has grown a lot, but Kevin's returning to his roots by going back to that cabin, by starting the big 3 homes, by being more the way Jack would have wanted him to be. That's the only way that they could tie in Sophie, I think, at this point. If that's the route that they're going. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense.
I think it's I don't know. I always thought there was something because Sophie knew Jack.
Yeah.
And I felt like she always could be a little bit more sympathetic to Kevin in certain areas because I think she knows how hard that hit him when Jack died. And I felt like, I don't know. I feel like there's too much history there just to throw it all away.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I agree that I think I'm leaning towards that it is going to be her now, because why bring her back up in this episode? So, which that was, you know, it was tough, man. I mean, I have a hard time. Young adult Kevin really messes with me because he was just in such a bad place. Like, and he made so many mistakes, but I don't know. It's hard to watch, I think, just seeing that, you know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Poor Sophie. I mean, like, she was so devoted to him and then cheated on her with just some girl in his acting class. Like,
that killed me this episode.
Yeah.
Did we know that he talked about her a lot too, because Sophie was like, that girl in your acting class. So he's even talked about her to Sophie.
So Sophie probably already had like reservations about, I'm sure she probably thought about it or, you know, wondered. And
but did we know that's why they're marriage?
We knew there
started
was
ending?
cheating, but I don't think
Did
we had
we?
details of what happened.
It's been so long. I
But I
kept
don't
trying to
even
think
think
there at the time. I was like, did we
I don't
find
think this
that?
is where they split up though. Like I got the impression that they split up later, and like this isn't like probably the
I
only
think
time he
this might
cheats
be
on
the
her.
start of it though.
Yeah.
What
think
gives you
this
the
is
impression they
definitely-
split up later?
I don't know. I just always had that.
I don't think it's too much later. I
I
don't.
don't know. I guess I just had that thought somehow. Like,
Oh,
fairly
I
recent.
felt like he went to LA like pretty much. Didn't he go to LA kind of right after him and Sophie broke up?
He was taking a bunch of acting classes in New York because when Rebecca went out there to visit him, when she said she was thinking about
Mm.
dating again or something like that,
Yeah.
he flipped out, and that was in New York.
Okay.
But I don't know how long he was in New York. I don't think we're ever given a strict timeline of how long he was there. But I mean, going off of appearances alone, yeah, he went up to New York fairly, I
yeah,
would say a year or two after being in New York.
Yeah.
maybe.
So I think it happens pretty
Soon.
quickly. I think this is I think there's going to be I think there's probably more fights,
Yeah.
but I think this was the start of their end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Definitely.
sure, like, Kate was put in a really hard position there too.
She really was.
It sucks that she had to lie, but she was told something in confidence. It wasn't her thing to tell. What was she gonna say? It wasn't her piece of information to give. I mean, she could have said you need to talk to Kevin, but
Yeah.
I mean, she
It's
was
her
put in a
brother.
really hard position that I don't even think it was so much about protecting Kevin because she was mad at him for it. She was upset
Yeah.
that he did it. She was
Yeah.
just as mad. But I think that she also recognized that I can't be responsible for the end of my brother's marriage.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
I didn't think that was fair because I felt like it was like a few freaking minutes.
Mhm.
Kevin was going to tell her, so why would Kate tell Sophie that?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand why Sophie got upset too, because she felt betrayed by both of them
Yeah.
at that point. But at the same time, like I would have done exactly what Kate did.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna betray my
Yeah.
brother like when he's confided in me over something. I'm just not. I mean,
No.
She was put in a
So.
really hard place
mhm.
between two people she really cared about. And I don't know
Yeah.
that I don't know that there is a right decision to make there.
And it never hit me until this episode that we don't really see Kate have any friends until Madison.
Mhm.
And I mean, here's Sophie. I mean, it never really clicked like how hard all this probably was on her because
Yeah.
I mean, like she lost like her best friend.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's tough.
And I like that Sophie understood right away who that text message was from. Like there was no hesitation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felt a little
Yeah.
passive aggressive. Maybe that's because it was a text. I don't know. But I mean, we go back and see Rebecca and Matt too. And I'm not a big Matt fan, gotta say. I'm not a big
No.
Matt fan.
I'm not
I don't
either.
think Rebecca's a big Matt fan.
No.
I mean, she didn't seem really into it. Like,
I think he makes it easy.
yeah. I mean, maybe he's a good, first relationship to jump back out there, but there's no way
Yeah.
this was ever going to be long term.
No.
No. I couldn't. I just don't like him because I'm like, okay, well now I know Jack's gone.
Miguel's right
like
there.
it's supposed to be Miguel
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
And I didn't like somebody else like getting in the middle of that. I
Mhm.
was like, I don't feel I don't like this.
I'm sorry. How do you go from Jack to Matt?
I know. Jack from yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Matt seems like a perfectly nice guy.
Yeah, but he's so boring.
At least her and Miguel, they have so much fun together.
Yeah, there's
like,
chemistry between them. There's no
Mhm.
chemistry between Matt and Rebecca.
I agree.
And I did like all the digs that Miguel kept throwing at him.
Mhm.
Especially, and Matt did invite himself to dinner.
He did.
He
He
did.
definitely
absolutely did.
He
Yeah.
did, which was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then Miguel asks if he can bring Marguerite.
And you see Rebecca's face. Like this first time we see her, like,
Yep.
oh, I don't know that I like this. Which
Mhm.
makes me so angry because we know that they don't get together till like quite a bit later because they say they reconnect on Facebook, which we know
Yeah.
doesn't show up for a while. So
Yep.
like all these years that they obviously both felt something for each other and maybe were too afraid to even admit it.
I think that's, I
But-
mean, because right after Jack, they're best friends.
Yeah.
Who wants to ruin that?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think they needed. I'm glad they didn't like jump right
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
I'm glad they had some time because I feel like it would be kind of strange if they like, a couple of years after Jack dies, then
Yeah.
she's with his best friend. I feel like that's
Yeah.
it was already really strange for us. Like, what was that, the first episode where we see Rebecca standing there at the door with Miguel, and you're like, excuse me? Like that feeling you got? Like I think it was nice that they had some time.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
Because now that we know there was some time, it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, she didn't just jump, straight to Miguel. There was something. It kind of gave you like a buffer, like it was okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we have to wait 2 weeks to see how all this plays out. But it's the Thanksgiving episode, which is.
Those are always my favorite.
I know they're always my favorites too. So I'm very excited.
But we're not going to get Matt and Rebecca and Miguel at Thanksgiving.
I know.
Because we already had that this week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's okay. But we do see the rest of it.
Well, I feel like I thought in the preview it did look like we saw a little clip of more Rebecca and Miguel, like
but not with Matt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they had their Thanksgiving, unless they do it twice.
Well, because this wasn't actually Thanksgiving, because they said it was 3 days before Thanksgiving.
No, but they were brining the turkey for Thanksgiving, and they did the turkey.
I thought I saw them in like their same. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
because they ended with Miguel saying, "I'm going to invite Marguerite to Christmas."
Oh, I thought he was inviting her to Thanksgiving.
He's inviting her to Thanksgiving.
I thought it was Christmas. I thought he said Christmas.
Because I feel like Kevin made the thing, like when he showed up, he's like, I don't know why we all had to get together for all this 3 days before like Thanksgiving. So I don't think we've had Thanksgiving yet.
I thought we were watching them cook it up.
Mm-mm.
And then
I really don't.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they were brining the turkey and they were in the kitchen together and they were making jokes about who was who's sous chef.
I remember that.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch to see if he said Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Thanksgiving because if you look at the preview, like it shows them again because there's more like longing looks, like where they're like.
Yeah, I thought it was Thanksgiving that he was inviting Marguerite to. But that's what I thought he said.
The preview has like tons of different Thanksgivings because we see like really old Thanksgiving with like Rebecca's mom, and we know she's always lots of fun. And then I swear we saw this same Thanksgiving again because we saw Rebecca and Miguel. I swear they have on the exact same outfits and look exactly the same. That could be wrong.
Because we didn't actually see this dinner though.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened yet.
So I think we're going to see the dinner.
I think it happened. I think we just didn't see it. We're just going to see the dinner next week.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's
who I'm missing in these last couple episodes is Jack.
I know. I was just about to say,
better be a Jack
really
Thanksgiving.
Missing Jack. Jack has to be in the Thanksgiving episodes if they're going to do past.
He should be in the old one with Rebecca's mom, from what I can tell.
Where would he be? Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving. Where would Jack be?
And I really kind of hope that is like I'm missing the middle group of the kids. Like I want to see Parker Bates and like Mackenzie, and like I want to see those kids because we haven't seen those in a while. So maybe that can be a year where they're there. I mean, I love the littlest ones too, but we haven't seen the other ones very much at all. So
we just saw the little ones.
Yeah, I'm ready to see that group.
I agree. And Parker just had a birthday, so.
And
I think I hope that it's Kate being overly sensitive when she says that to Toby, because I can't imagine Toby even alluding to anything like that.
No, but okay. So hear me out though. If he is alluding to something though, if you have two parents who have consistently struggled with weight issues, it is not unheard of to worry that your child might also struggle with those issues.
I agree with that.
So even if he is worried about that, I am not mad at him for being worried about that, because I can't imagine that Toby's like over there fat shaming the toddler. Like we know that's not happening.
Yeah.
So like if he's concerned, and we know Kate's probably being too sensitive. She's already irritated at Toby. We've seen that. So this might just be something that's blowing up here over nothing.
One thing we didn't talk about was when Toby goes into Kevin's room, he harasses him about playing music at night. Yeah. And Kevin very kindly, I think, says, "Hey, brotherly tip, AirPods are driving her crazy."
Yeah.
And then Toby comes back at him, but Kevin didn't do anything wrong. It's the fact that Toby won't stop working that she's mad at. Not that
I think that we're seeing Toby is insanely stressed from his new job, and it is changing his personality, and that's what
I'm starting to not like Toby as much, and I think that's exactly what we want.
But also, we don't know how long Kevin's been there, because we can see that Elijah is already very comfortable with both Toby, who's only home on the weekends, and Kate. I think some significant time has passed and Kevin is still in their guest bedroom. Toby might just be ready for him to go.
Our only indicator is that it's about to be Thanksgiving. Yeah. We don't know. We know the show started in, well, it didn't even start in September, so we don't even have like a normal
We just saw Kate's birthday, which is in August, and Kevin was living there then.
For the 40th? For the 41st? He was there? Okay. I couldn't remember when their birthday was.
Or that's the night he came. Like that's the night he first came over there to stay.
So he's been there a couple months.
So and now it's November.
Okay.
So Toby might just be done with him.
He's only there on the weekends. I mean, shut up, Toby.
I will say that I love the look that Randall gave when Kate was like, just say it. You worried about our child being fat. Randall just takes a sip of his wine and looks side to side. I don't know if that's when he did it, but that's when the preview showed it, and I laughed out loud when I saw his facial expression. I love how Sterling K. Brown plays Randall. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yep.
While we were on this, I need to just say this. I said this in the chat, but Niles Fitch and Logan Schroeder. Okay, my goodness, this episode, both of them. If I had closed my eyes while watching their scenes, I would have swore. Do what?
Who are they?
Oh, like the young adult Kevin and young adult Randall. If I would have closed my eyes watching them, I would have swore that I was watching Justin and Sterling.
Yeah.
Their voices. I mean, I noticed Logan more than anything this episode. It sounds exactly like Justin Hartley. It blew my mind. So well done to those guys, because they have done their homework and they are playing the part so well.
They are. Kudos, really, because I noticed it when you said it too. I was like, yeah, I did notice that as well.
Yeah. I mean, they sound just like them. It's wild.
I noticed Kevin. I know Niles Finch. Who's Kevin's?
Logan Schroeder, I think is how
Logan
it is.
Schroeder. Yeah. I noticed his voice more than I did Niles, but I did notice his while I was watching it. I felt like his voice sounded deeper.
I think because I was working and like trying to watch at the same time, so I wasn't looking, and so I was like, I noticed Sophie's voice, and then I heard like Logan, but it sounded like Justin. So I looked over like, this is strange, and I was like, oh, that's him, but he sounded just like Justin Hartley.
Yeah.
Kudos.
But all right, I think that's it.
Yep, that is our preview for next 2 weeks, which is a bummer. Big fat bummer. I feel like we just got, well, I don't feel like it. We did. We just got this back and we're already having another hiatus.
We did.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer.
Just 1 week though. So
yeah, not so bad. But if you are needing to talk about this in the interim while you wait, you can join us in our Facebook group, which is This Is Us, Pearson Family Fan Club on Facebook. And of course, you can always find us on social. We're always doing fun things on there. I feel like Jeanette is doing more of the fun stuff on social.
Try.
Yes. So you can check us out on any of our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok under Fandom Family Chats. And next week we are giving you, actually coming up, you are going to have Wednesday. So in a couple days, you're going to have our final Sweet Magnolias podcast. You're going to have our newest Grey's Anatomy podcast. Next week, you're just going to be able to tune in for 911. And that's what we got for you. 911 and Grey's Anatomy are going to be the only two that are showing up next week. That's it.
All right.
I am not on either one of those.
Yeah.
But that's it. So we'll see you guys in a week. Check out our groups and let us know what you think. Oh, also, if you want to reach out to us, you can reach us out at familyfanclub2021gmail.com. That's familyfanclub2021@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Yes, good or bad. We'd like to hear it. And on that note, see you in a week. Bye, guys.
Bye.